time, energy, and skills to help mold, shape, and create policies for our organization and our schools. Tonight, they are represented by our board president, Melissa Goodrow, who was instrumental in getting us city approval to hold our graduation celebration in this space this evening. Please join me in welcoming Ms. Goodrow and thanking her and the board for their support of the class of 2020.
The side of the gray and yellow backpack on a side zipper pocket. There's a little black springy thing. You know what a phone clip looks like?
Thank our graduation committee, who have literally moved mountains since our school building closed in March to make it possible for us to be here tonight. These folks have made phone calls, sent emails, created programs, edited videos, marked maps, hauled AV equipment, planned photo opportunities, and literally built the stage I'm standing on. And all of that was in addition to their day jobs. Please join me in thanking Darla Jones, Penny Clay, Ketty Van Dyke, Jan Carden, Christina Carter, and Ben Phillips. I also want to take a moment to thank our senior representatives who advocated on behalf of their class for this in-person graduation: Benjamin Apgar, Noah Salem, Cameron Wright, and Bailey Boyles. This has been without a doubt the very weirdest year to graduate
from high school. Take the foot off the bottom of there so I can put it back on the top of the tripod.
Milestones.
No. Unscrew right there. There's a thumb screw on it. Look.
No adult in this parking lot had ever had the senior year that you have had. But I have watched you all adjust, adapt,
now lay the iPad down and put that foot on there.
Realign, respond, team up, and most of all, triumph.
See the little button on the top?
Because the art in you
the button
is stronger than any lockdown, any virus,
that goes on the front,
and any other difficulty you could face.
We're getting messages that the live stream is not working.
You are
because the iPad overheated because it's in direct sunlight, so I'm switching to my phone, but I've only got so many hands.
And nothing can steal your light.
Okay, that's exactly backwards. Just put it on the tripod, dude. I'll turn the whole thing around if I have to. The live stream is back up. There are people commenting on it.
Oh, there are. Okay.
What I need is 17 hands. Oh my God! Hold the phone. Hold the phone. You're covering up.
What do you need from me? How can I help?
Hold that.
Yep.
Right here.
Hi, I would plan to be with you in person. Unfortunately.
Jack, will you take that back over to the table?
I would plan to be with you in person.
Yeah, plug that in the bottom of there so I don't lose it. The other bottom, yeah. And then just lay it on the table over there out of the sun. Good.
Hi, I would plan to be with you in person. Unfortunately, 2020. So, as you can see, I am taking social distancing very seriously as I stand here all by myself.
You need me to stand here with like something that's shaded?
Yeah, I wish it had an umbrella. I don't know what else we can. I mean, the iPad just gave me that emergency hot thing and turned itself off.
Okay. Let me see what I can do. Let me see what I can do.
The students of FWAFA are special. We are a different kind of people. We are artists. We are creators. And we need to take this time to see and appreciate that when the world faced a crisis it was wholly unprepared for, when uncertainty and fear ran rampant, and when society had to shut down, people looked to artists. I mean, we were, a week into quarantine when Tiger Woods swept the nation? And while that isn't exactly high art, society is desperate seeking out of Netflix series, movies, music, comic books, novels, and more, is emblematic of just how much we are needed. When times become darkest, artists are the light that people turn to. As such, I decided to take this opportunity to honor art, and to remind us of some valuable lessons that art has taught us over the years. Some lessons are very simple. Wise musical theater icons like Willard from Footloose taught us not to use a toaster while standing in the shower. Now, what can argue with that? We've also learned, of course, that there's no crime in baseball, that whoever said orange was the new pink was seriously disturbed, and that fat just never going to happen. Where will our society be without these invaluable nuggets of wisdom? But perhaps, if we dig a little deeper, we can find some pieces of artistic advice that apply a little more directly to us here today as we venture forth into the world. Art teaches us that life isn't always
I can't film shit like this, dude.
Especially for artists, life can be difficult, and we need to be prepared to face hardships. But the most important thing to remember when times get tough is, as Elwood said, to have faith in yourself. And, as Kelly Clarkson wants us to remember, what does not kill us makes us stronger. Just keep swimming through those tough times, and remember, as Milan's father told her, that the flower that blooms in adversity is the most rare and beautiful of all. Art also teaches us to stand up for what is right, to stand up for ourselves, and to stand up for each other. I would be remiss to say that the pandemic was the only major world-shaping event to occur during our senior year. Thanks to the bravery and determination shown in the Black Lives Matter movement, we are seeing global change, and powerful POC creators and storytellers had a crucial role in this global shift. Art teaches us to see, respect, and understand the perspectives of others. And, as Katherine Johnson said in Hidden Figures, once you take that first step, anything is possible. Art also teaches us that every single one of us has a place where we can shine. I believe that. I believe that each and every one of us has a unique voice, a unique perspective, and a unique spirit that deserves to shine. Artists are the lights of this world, and each of you will have a place where you will glow. Some of us first found that place in high school. Others haven't found that place yet. But your destiny, your happy ending, is out there. As Neil Armstrong said in First Man, when you get to a different vantage point, it changes your perspective. It allows you to see things you should have seen a long time ago. Sometimes what you need to see is your value. And once you have found that, you can accomplish anything. Finally, art teaches us the value of working hard and staying true to ourselves. Cinderella advises us to have courage and be kind. As we journey on to the next adventure, we must remember to do or do not. There is no try. It is not our abilities that show who we truly are, as Dumbledore reminds us, but our choices that define our character. After all, the sorting hat does put you where you most want to go. Though life may be like a box of chocolates, you must remember who you are as you take that first step to infinity and beyond. So maybe I got a little carried away with that last one. These are just a few lessons that art can teach us. And remember, fellow artists, that you are society's teachers. Observe the lessons of artists before you, and know that it is within your power to create your own lessons to pass on. Know that society will look to you when it is lost, when it needs direction. What will you have to say? What light will you give? What is your story to tell? I know that each and every one of your lives, your creations, whatever tools you make them with, be it your pencil, your lighting board, your body, or your voice, are going to be absolutely amazing. I am so humbled and honored to be a part of a class with such potential to change the world. I cannot wait to see what adventures we embark on, what battles we face, and how brightly every one of us shines. I would like to leave you with one final quote, this one from one of the wisest characters I've ever known, Gandalf. Home is now behind you, the world is ahead. So go, reach at least as high as the moon. Be great, be strong.
Yeah, I was going to tie it to it, but I'm afraid if the wind blows it over my camera, it's going to smash on the ground.
Yep. So they're going to let me know on the walkie when we want to switch. Or you that doesn't matter to you, but... All right, that's working, yep. Yep. We're good. What was that?
It's just like those baby pictures, and then after
Thank you. Is there music associated with this? Christina. Christina.
So are they going to be calling the kids up? Is that what they're going to do?
So this is a slideshow. It's baby pictures. I'm not sure if there's supposed to be music playing. They're just showing baby pictures. This'll take a good few minutes.
Okay, I'm going to stop recording on this camera over here then, just to save space.
Okay. That's great.
If you'll signal me when they...
Yeah.
So are they being able to see that screen on there, or should we move? Because the live people are only going to be able to see it through here, right? So should we move it over and give them a better shot of the screen?
Christina Carter.
I close my eyes and I can see a world that's waiting for me that I call my own. Through the dark, through the cold, through no one's been before, but it feels like home. They can say it all sounds crazy.
Christina Carter, can you hear me?
I don't care, so call me crazy.
Christina Carter, come in.
We can live in a world that we desire. Because every night I lie in bed, your brightest colors fill my head. A million dreams are keeping me awake. I think of what the world could be.
Christina, can you hear me? Can you hear me? Okay. Let me know when we're about to go. What's next? What's after this?
There's a house we can build. Every room inside is filled with things from
So
far.
we want video of comments for that, right? Up on the screen.
Special things I can buy.
Okay.
Each one
So
that
once this is over, we'll have a speaker. So we'll want to have that's Michael does that. So. Okay, that's Michael who controls that. So make sure that he knows all that information. You what?
Where are they going to give the certificates? Are we going to do that down there?
Over there, yes.
they call us Christmas.
I think if we've got a shot of the stage from over there somewhere, for when they're getting their diplomas, that should be great. For the
I've got that one,
Tron.
and then I've got this one coming right up here
Yeah.
for when they come up the step.
Yeah.
And then I'll be roving, so I'll be right down here for a close-up.
Great.
And that's the one that'll be on the screen.
Awesome.
Is there a speaker before they start doing certificates? Or no?
I'm sorry?
Is somebody speaking before the certificates after the slideshow?
I don't have the program in front of me. There are a few speeches before the certificates. For the speeches, where do you think is the best place for you to be for the speeches?
This one?
Yes.
I'll be right down here.
Great.
This will go up 7 or 8 feet.
Great.
And I can raise that one up quite a bit when you're right up here for the live as well.
Great.
Thank you for shading it.
Yeah. What?
What's that? How do you get into it?
And we are let it will help us most to grow if we let it go. And we help when we do. Well, I don't know if I believe that's true, but I know I'm who I am today because I knew you. Like a comet moves along as it passes the sun, like a stream that leaves a boulder halfway through the wood. Who can say if that change for the better? Because I haven't changed.
Oh, so you never know what's going to happen on show night. So we are going to go ahead and present one of our diplomas before we start our speakers. So I'm going to pass this over to Miss Van Dyke, our high school counselor. Mercedes Isabella Shug. Okay, on with the show.
It's all right.
I love you too. All right, thank you. Hey guys, I'm Thomas. I am your class of 2020 salutatorian, as well as your student council president. Have a great day. Nice seeing you. So I'll get right into this. Quarantine is a time. Sorry. Perfect. Okay. Going back to that. Quarantine is a time that many are using to do those things that we've never really had time to do in the hustle and bustle of life. Whether that be baking bread or working on our arts, and for some, doing absolutely nothing. And yet for others, it's doing the most. It's speaking out on the systems of racism in our country and educating ourselves about these, educating ourselves and others about public issues. But for me, personally, quarantine has given me the time to do some of the stupidest things I've ever thought possible. For one, I permed my hair, I got addicted to Animal Crossing, I went to court, and at one point I thought I was going to jail. I'm sorry, Mom. But the one thing that embodies the epitome of the stupidity in life right now, in our coronavirus-filled time, was being part of a professional research-style intensive over Human Optic Synesthetic Association, or in English, being part of a research project about how people perceive colors. Now, it may seem odd to call a research project inherently stupid, boring maybe, but definitely not stupid. But it's because it was boring that it was stupid. Boring things aren't supposed to open my eyes to seemingly obvious concepts that I've been so blind to see. No, things that are supposed to change my perspective and allow me to think in completely different ways are supposed to be fun and interesting. Poignant at the very least. But no, the events that triggered this life-changing experience was stupid and boring. What I learned was not a concept I or anyone here is unfamiliar with. Miss Cook actually has been trying to drill this into me for years. But it was not until this stupid, boring research project that I finally understood the danger of a single story. Let me explain. My role in this research project was to gather information and make some conclusions about the color blue. Sounds easy, right? So I took an assortment of over 500 different images. I counted each individual person And I also counted the main color on their attire and finally compiled all of that information into one graph. Using this information, I was able to gather that 51% of people had a favor towards blue. Research done, and my conclusion was that humans have a tendency to regard blue as a color with higher prestige and formality. But this experiment, like life, was inherently flawed. In life, there are things that are seemingly irrefutable, but are actually misleading. Or even incorrect altogether. Just like when you turn in an assignment in Miss Cook's class and she doesn't yell at you, occasionally what seems like it'll always be true can surprise us. No offense, Miss Cook, I love you. And I learned this the hard way when re-examining my data. What I had forgotten was the idea of biases in my research. Bias is an everyday part of life. We seek out people and information that suits our individual ideas and mindsets. So, whether I knew it or not, when I was compiling images to examine, I was subconsciously looking for images that would support my own preconceived ideas. But it was just me being biased. And another factor, since the location of my laptop was set to Fort Worth, it also showed images only from Fort Worth. Basically, what I'm trying to say is that the results of this experiment were heavily influenced by my own bias, as well as the bias of the Fort Worth community. There is another problem that I encountered in my research and greatly affected my results. And that was, I'm red and green colorblind. I'm sure those of you without color blindness would assume that my red-green color blindness would not affect my ability to perceive blue, and you'd be right for that. But what it does is affect my ability to see things like purples. Purples turn into blue, pinks turn into blue, and even some browns turn into blue. Even with a computer program, I was not able to get accurate numbers. And it wasn't until I got my fellow interns to help me that I finally noticed my errors. And redoing my research, instead of a 51%, it was actually a 32% preference towards blue, a 19% difference. And I think my research project paints an almost perfect representation of life, of the danger of a single story. It's so easy to get trapped in my own world and think my opinions are inherent facts. But the truth of the matter is that there are millions of perspectives. We have our own biases. We have our own biases in our communities. And these prejudices distract us from the perspectives of others. And we may even purposefully and unintentionally create situations that are harmful for those who don't share our ideals. But biases are things that we can be aware of and things we can change. And in order to do so, we must be aware that there are things that we just don't see because of our situations, because of where we were born, and because of our privilege. And it's up to us to educate ourselves on what we don't know, lest we fall into the trap of a single story. Going back to my research, the usefulness of statistics does not come from the data collected or the conclusions formed. It comes from understanding the inherent biases of the information. And this knowledge is what gives statistics their credibility. And this knowledge should be revered and applied to real life. Class of 2020, we are entering a new stage of life. For many of us, that means a life away from home, our high school friends, and even our family. But we can use this time to improve ourselves and use this perfect opportunity to create our own personal experiences, but also to educate ourselves on the unique ideas around us. Only then, by collecting data through experiences and research, can we find our own personal conclusions, our meaning of life. In this divisive time filled with inequality, police injustice, political tension, and heightened social awareness, it becomes important and even necessary to challenge the inherent biases and prejudices we've been so accustomed to, as well as to accept and promote the prospect of infinite possibilities and perspectives. Again, to the class of 2020, 2021, and to everyone out there, I wish you the best of luck in life and with your data collecting. Thank you so much.
Hello, my name is Noah Salem, and I am the valedictorian of this graduating class. Most graduate speakers begin their speeches by saying something like, "Wow, I can't believe we made it," or "Wow, I can't believe we're here." Well, I literally cannot believe that we are here. Less than a few weeks ago, I thought that I'd be doing this in front of my laptop. So firstly, a huge thank you to everybody who's worked so hard these past few months to get us this in-person graduation. Thank you to the family members here supporting us and those at home watching us. Most importantly, thank you to the wonderful staff of FWAFA, to the teachers who have been there with us, taught us, and fought for us for years. We wouldn't be celebrating here today if it weren't for all of you. Something that I've learned throughout this whole pandemic is that now more than ever we need to fight for what we want. Equality, human rights, and even a graduation. Without perseverance, we wouldn't be here to share this moment together, or to walk across this stage. When we heard about the possibility that a virtual graduation was our only option, we couldn't have easily accepted it. Most of us had already had our college orientation and made our schedules. Move-in is even less than a month. But we knew that we hadn't worked hard for almost 13 years just to give up on graduation. We fought to get this, and here we are. And this won't be the last time that any of us have to fight hard or work hard for what we want. This graduating class has students pursuing careers in engineering, film, musical theater, psychology, business, the medical world, dance, visual art, and so much more. We are all entering a world of competition. I know that every one of us has chosen to pursue what we love, and that we will work hard to get what we want. We will all go through obstacles, but just like the pandemic changing our graduation plans, if we fight for what we want and keep on persevering, every one of us will succeed. So it doesn't matter if you write a song that nobody listens to, or if you make a film that nobody watches, or if people don't like the role you had, or you mess up a dance performance, or if you fail a test that you really needed to pass. Keep working, and you'll get where you want to be. Everyone who is famous has, at one point in their life, failed. One of George Lucas's first films was a failure. Vincent van Gogh only sold one painting in his entire lifetime, and no record label was interested in Queen's first few songs. But that didn't stop them. They worked harder, and they persevered. Now, Star Wars is one of the biggest media franchises, and Queen is one of the most popular bands of all time. Going to a fine art school, we all know that art is subjective. Not everybody has the same taste in music, films, plays, musicals, dance, or even art. One bad work of art is not the end of the world. One mistake at work is not the end of your career, and one bad day does not ruin your life. American psychologist B.F. Skinner once said that a failure is not always a mistake. It may simply be the best that one can do under the circumstances. The real mistake is to stop trying. So who knows when failure will turn into success? If you give up, you never will. But if you keep on trying, keep persevering, maybe your next song, your next role, your next painting, your next film, or your next mistake will bring you success. Thank you for your time, and I hope you all stay safe and healthy.
We are so honored to have as our speaker tonight the most well-known, celebrated actor in our city. David Coffey is a professional actor from Arlington, Texas. He made his debut at Casa Mediana in 1968 as Portly Otter in The Linden and Willows. He attended TCU as a North Fine Arts Scholar, where he received his Bachelor of Fine Arts degree in theater arts. He was a university fellow at the State University of New York in Bennington, New York, where he studied with notable voice and body teacher Arthur Leslie. David returned to TCU as a graduate assistant, where he served as an actor, teacher, director, and manager at the box office while earning his Master of Fine Arts degree in acting. In a career that spans 53 years, David has been welcomed by audiences from Portland, Oregon to Portsmouth, New Hampshire. For 7 years, he toured as the professor and conductor for Mr. Jack Daniels' original Silver Hornet Band, leading the group through 16 national tours, as well as radio and television broadcasts. David has also enjoyed long-time associations with the Granbury Opera House, 25 years, Casa Mediana, 9 productions, the Trinity Shakespeare Festival, 9 seasons, and the North Shore Music Theater, 60 productions. Honors include multiple DFW Critics Forum Awards, multiple Column Awards, multiple IRFE, Independent Reviewers New England Awards, voted Best Actor by the readers in Fort Worth Weekly 2 years in a row, named an North Shore Music Theater, where he has been the recipient of 2 tribute evenings, and his portrayal of Scrooge has earned him the monikers of being a New England tradition and the GOAT, greatest of all time, by the Massachusetts Legislature. Dave is also the recipient of the Elston Brooks Lifetime Achievement Award, given by the Live Theater League of Tarrant County. Other actors say about David that he is the hardest working, most professional, kindest, and most giving actor they've ever worked with. And directors know that to have David in their show is a true gift. Please help me welcome David Coffey.
Thank you very much. I tell you, I played a lot of different venues, especially with Mr. Jack Daniels' band, but this is my first time to play a drive-in. I tell you, this is something else, ain't it? Wow. I have to tell you, Jan Carter sent me a message several months ago and asked me if I'd like to speak to the graduating class, and I said I would be thrilled to do it. And then a few weeks later, they sent me a message and said, now, are you the artistic director for the Dallas Theater Center? Is that right? Well, I'm not. I'm just a plain old actor. And I can guarantee you that Kevin Moriarty, who is the artistic director at the Theater Center, would have given you a speech tonight you will always remember, but you got me instead. Okay, oh my God, there we are. And here we are. I cannot tell you what an honor it is for me to speak to you today. It's an honor for me because I've had the pleasure of being an audience for your efforts for several years and a colleague, having worked with several of you here. It's also an honor for me because you are my heroes. When this pandemic hit and everything shut down, you didn't. Your teachers didn't, your administrators didn't, and most of all, your families didn't. You know, when I was a senior in high school in the last century, my final semester was perhaps the most stressful time in my entire life. I was so busy. I was involved with everything. My final semester, I did 3 shows. I acted and designed the lighting for 2 of them. And in addition, the 3rd show I also directed. I was doing a film project, a major research paper, choir concerts, planning and attending my prom, speaking at our Vespers service, going through commencement, and preparing for a major change in my life. After 12 years, I was entering the new world of the university. It is the closest I ever came to having a nervous breakdown. Truly. And I didn't have to deal with a worldwide pandemic. So please, pat yourselves on the back. You did it. Woo! But I hope that you will always understand and remember that you did not do it alone. I hope as soon as this ceremony is over that you will give your family, your mother, your father, your sisters, brothers, grandparents, even your pets, a big hug and tell them thank you. They played a big part in this celebration, and they put up with you through this whole process. Remember that. Also, I hope you'll take the time to write a letter to your teachers and thank them for hanging in there with you. This was a huge undertaking for them as well. A lot of them probably had never even heard of Zoom yet. So thank them and everyone here at FWAFA who made this possible today. And although we have entered into a dark period here for the performing arts, I want you as young artists, and just as importantly, your worried parents, to take heart. Arts and entertainment are responsible for more than 4 million jobs, powering the sector responsible for $877.8 billion in value and 4.5% of the U.S. gross domestic product. That's another way of saying we will come back. The arts are too valuable, literally, to go away. In any case, I want you to remember what your arts education has given you. According to Charles Matthews, a board member for the Texas Cultural Trust and former vice president of ExxonMobil Corporation, he said a key and often overlooked benefit of exposure to the arts is that it fosters out-of-the-box thinking skills. These skills, such as creativity, innovation, creative thinking, problem solving, communication, and collaboration, are precisely what we need to build a stronger workforce. These are traits of leadership, and we should not miss any opportunity to nurture and develop these skills. Now, how should we all cope with this current uncertainty in our lives? I agree with the actor Alan Alda. He says, laugh. Laughter is good. When you laugh, you are vulnerable. You're opening yourself up. We're not protected. That's why a lot of executives don't laugh much, because they think it gives up their strength. But you gain so much through vulnerability. You let the other person in, and that brings us all closer. We can't take ourselves too seriously, even now. A good friend emailed me recently and said, Alan, how are you doing? How's everything? I wrote back and said, I'm still alive. If that changes, I'll let you know. So today, you graduate. You know, it's funny, I graduated 3 times. Yeah. I missed my ceremony when I received my Bachelor of Fine Arts degree from TCU because I was performing at the Granbury Opera House. I announced the fact that I had just graduated to the audience at my farewell speech, and they gave me a rousing round of applause and cheers. But I have to admit that each time I received a diploma, I thought of it as a graduation, an accomplishment, or an ending. Only when I started to prepare this talk did I take note of that other word we use, commencement. This is your new beginning. You have been through a dark time, and the dark time will continue for a while. But out of this darkness, you can hopefully lead all of us into the light of a better and more just world. You, the keepers of empathy, you, the keepers of creativity, you, the keepers of humanity. I can't wait to see what you're going to do next. Now, to wrap up, hear these words that when I heard them reminded me of FWAFA's class of 2020, the class of perfect vision. 2020, that vision, got that? Okay, good. Hear these words, they're from the heart. The seasons will always turn. The clouds will gather, and the cold will come. We will survive them. We will grow regardless of the weather. We will know wonder. Where there has been despair, there will be happiness, and we will remember. There will be friendships that we won't forget. Love is the constant whereby we endure all winters and all storms. It is the climate in which all things can thrive. Welcome to darkness. Embrace it as a canopy from which the stars can hang. For there are always stars when we are where we ought to be, amongst the faces we love best, each with our place, each with our purpose, as fixed and familiar as the constellations. The darkness is beautiful, for how else can we shine? Congratulations.
Thank you so much, Mr. Coffey, for your beautiful words. We are so glad that you are here with us this evening to honor our amazing graduates. At this point in the ceremony, you would normally be hearing Dr. Vaughn, our Chief Academic Officer Superintendent, and Dr. Thompson, our President of Texas Center for Arts and Academics. In consideration of the county's health and wellness restrictions, they will not be speaking tonight, but they have sent you the following words of encouragement and accolade. We have a very special group of young adults before us. Oprah has called you the chosen ones. You've been challenged more in these past few months than in all of the years it took you to get to this point. Even though you have suffered and experienced grief, and at times feel like you have lost so much, even too much, in truth, we believe you have also gained so much. You have overcome overwhelming challenges, faced adversity head-on, yet you have surprised yourself with your strength and tenacity and your ability to pivot from one direction to another without losing a beat. You've adapted to your situation with brilliance. You've proven that circumstances and obstacles can't rob you of your dreams and goals you've fashioned for yourselves. You inspire all of us. You sit here now, at this moment, with the world calling your name. I invite you to step into the future with all of the vision, passion, energy, and hope that you can muster. Listen to your heart. Embrace your unique spirit and trust yourself to do good things. We have full confidence that you will rock your life and in turn make this world a better place to live, love, and flourish. You are the hope of the future. Okay, so it's time for the big event. It is almost time for the presentation of diplomas, and so I would like to take a moment to acknowledge a few more people who would normally be sharing this stage with me. Omar Mendez, our Associate Principal, who has been helping direct traffic this evening, and who has always been a tireless advocate for our students. Kevin Van Dyke, one of the senior class sponsors, and our high school counselor, who will also be reading the names of the graduates as they are invited to come collect their diplomas, and whose compassion, empathy, and stalwart support have scaffolded the mental health of teachers, administrators, parents, and graduates alike. And last but certainly not least, Jackson Hill and Krista Langford, the other two senior sponsors, who go above and beyond the call of duty in service, support, and love of our graduates, so often and in so many ways that I stand in absolute awe. Thank you all for your support of the class of 2020. And now for the presentation of diplomas. Dr. Thompson will come to assist me with the first half of the alphabet, and Ms. Goodrow will assist me with the second half. Please be reminded, parents and families, that you must stay in your cars. Graduates, you will be called up 3 at a time. Please maintain a safe 6-foot distance from the graduate in front of you by waiting in the on-deck or standby space that is stage left, house right, which is marked on your map and in the parking lot. Keep your mask on until you get to the photographer on the other side of the stage. I will hand you your diploma. As much as it pains me to say it, we will stick to virtual handshakes and virtual hugs this evening. Exit stage right, house left, and remove your mask when you reach the photo backdrop. Put your mask back on as soon as your photo is taken and return to your car. Once everyone has received their diploma and returned to their cars, I will give further instructions.
Dr. Jackson said, I am a high school counselor. I am so excited to be here tonight because I have a really long history with the graduates. Started in 7th grade for some of them when I was their best math teacher in the whole wide world. Thank you. Sorry, Mr. Hammond. And then I was their high school counselor, and then like Dr. Jackson said, I've got to be their senior class sponsor, which means I get to spend a lot of time with them. So this is very special. Thank you, Dr. Jackson, for letting me do this. All right, here we go. Our first graduate. Our salutatorian, Jordan Thomas Decina Acampato. Hold on a second. Unable to join us tonight, Cortez Kashawn Adams. Benjamin Aaron Apgar. Unable to join us tonight, Storm Bessonen Bays. Also unable to join us tonight, Noah Alexander Berry. Our next graduates, Bailey Jane Boyles. Weston Dane Brown. Jonathan Michael Cappuccino. Adeline Rose Chandler. Ashley Marie Cowdrey. Logan Trent Curry. Harmony Leanne Dow. Ariana K. Vratovich. Ayana Denise Green. Maximilian Xavier Grimm. Aislinn Hannah Hernandez. Alicia Reina Hill. Wesley Marcus Junker. Brenna Rout Kaplan. Candace Faith Kelly. Julian David Mackows. Sarah Grace Law. Carlina Lisbeth Lopez. Lily Ann Markham.
Hey, Teddy, hold on. By the white van. I'm in the black one. Oh, actually, can I just go across the here?
Clayton Earl Mathis. Ethan Daniel Pope. David Charles Postleway. Elizabeth Grace Redding. Unable to attend, Faith Ireland Renault. McLean Ray Ryan. Madeline Rose Rector. Lillian Viviana Rivas. Presley Renee Ryan. Our valedictorian, Noah Samuel Salem. Solana Damar Hernandez Sanchez. J. Christian Ray Shortes. Dylan Connolly Smith. Unable to attend in person, Kaylee Lynn Soberanis. Risden Clark Tujono. Madeline Ray Valadez. Ella Jean Walters. Kamari Nicole Riley. Megan Adele Walters. Yara Weiss. Megan Dalby Warren. Julia Suzanne Wood. Cameron Ainsley Wright. Garrett Michael Zartman.
At this time, I would like to present the Fort Worth Academy of Fine Arts Class of 2020 graduates. has met all of the graduation requirements of the state of Texas, as well as those set forth by the Fort Worth Academy of Fine Arts. I now present to you Fort Worth Academy of Fine Arts graduating class of 2020. Class of 2020, to signify your graduation, you may move your tassel from right to left at this time. Our FWAFA tradition for celebrating the addition of new alumni calls for the singing of the
Graduates, please join the class of 2010 and FWAFA alumni in singing The Awakening.
Jackson Hill is singing, and then
of 2020. Have a great night. I want to thank once again Ms. Goodrow and Dr. Thompson for allowing this to happen and making this happen. Have a great evening. Congratulations.